Okay, let's be clear. I'm fully aware that your style of dress as a black person will increase or decrease your chances of getting the black treatment, right? But even if you are dressed upscale, you are still in a position where you can still get the black treatment. Now, yeah, the odds may be lower, but it's still there. So it's foolish to act as if you completely bypassed it. And oftentimes, it doesn't matter if you're dressed normally or even if you're dressed quote unquote hood, right? You have to pretty much be super Carlton Banks upscale to be, given the quote unquote black pass. And even then, you have to be older. Because I can show up, dressed, I guess, proper, right? Polo-ish, right? But it still doesn't take away the fact that, I'm a young black dude and my hair is short, right? People aren't going to feel more at ease. Because dressing normal or even dressing thuggish, so to speak, it's pretty much the same thing. I damn near have to be in a suit before I can be, treated differently. But even then, the possibility is still there. And I'm not doing this so people can, feel like white America's out to get them. Honestly, I can care less, simply because most white Americans don't have any sort of power over you. The only ones that really do, or at least the ones that we will ever come in contact with, are the police. And like I said, it's not about being hostile. It's just remembering who you are at all times, right? It's becoming comfortable knowing that, somebody may come up on me. That's all it is. It's like, for men, you know how we carry some basketball shorts and some shoes in the trunk just in case we have to get down, right? It's kind of like that, right? You're probably not going to use it, but you never know. You may have to, and you have to be ready, right? I have my shoes in there, and I haven't taken them out in like years, but they're still in my trunk because you never know when you just have to get down, right? So you have to keep it there. But most people feel like they can do away with it. Most people feel like they can get to the point where it no longer matters because you dress a certain way. And I'm like, no, it doesn't work that way. If you look at, excuse my alarm, if you look at those blacks in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, look at how they were dressed. Were they dressed in, tattered rags and loosey-goosey clothes? No, they were dressed nicely. Look at the women especially. Look at the men in a suit, always looking nice and proper at all times. There was no thug-like, dressing like, a gangster. There was none of that. None of that at all. Everybody was dressed nicely. But they were still getting bad treatment, right? They were still getting beat by the police. They were still getting killed. They were still getting, mauled by dogs. It was what it was. So for, people nowadays to come on and act as if you can dress a certain way and you're still going to be treated differently. No, you can't help the color of your skin. Like I said before, 50 Cent in a suit will still be like 50 Cent. Ice Cube in a suit will still be Ice Cube. Nothing will change. Puff Daddy in a suit still looks like Puff Daddy. Right? Even if your voice, even if you're more of a Braxton type dude, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? You're still black. You're still a threat, or a perceived threat. And I'm not even saying, like I said before, that it's gonna happen. I'm not trying to say that you're gonna walk out of your house and somebody's gonna get on you. All I'm trying to say is you have to have it there at the back of your mind. That's why I'm so not over the Henry Louis Gates thing, because if he even had it at the back of his mind, he'd have been straight. Really, all he had to do was say, I'm a black dude, it really doesn't matter. But he made the mistake that a lot of black people make. They felt like, because I'm in slacks and I'm in a polo and my shirt's tucked in and I have some loafers on, I have a pass, right? And it didn't work that way. In the back of his mind, he thought he had a pass. And of course he's high profile, so everything's going to get swept under the rug. But you, average Joe Smo, that's not going to happen. Act a fool, they're going to take you to jail. There is no Obama, there is no beer. You just have, a blemish on your record. That's all this, that's all. There is no TV, there is no cameras. So it's important to remember who you are. Because people who get mad, for me, honestly, if you still get mad, okay, because you got pulled over by being black, or you got to look at a bank even though you were dressed a certain way, then that's more so a shame on you. You should know better. And I'm not saying accept it, but I'm saying know it's coming so you don't become a victim. Because oftentimes as black people, we get upset and get mad, and the people who are treating us poorly are cool. They're calm, cool, and collected. And we're the ones who end up looking stupid and getting ourselves in trouble. Okay? You let a fool be a fool. Right? You expose an idiot by remaining silent. You expose somebody who's ignorant or racist by being silent and letting them play their hand. Don't egg them on. The bank I go to, it's funny, when I first went there, where was I coming from? I believe I was on my way to the gym. So I was in, basketball stuff, right? Typical young black male, right? And I walked in there, and they thought I was in the wrong part of town, right? They thought I was there and trying to cash some check, and they stopped me quick. And I could have easily got mad simply because I felt like it was a little bit too much, and I could have showed some attitude, but I didn't do it at all. Right? They ran my information, and I let them know that I'm new to the area, and everything changed. So every time I walk in that bank, the treatment I get is ridiculous. The treatment I get is outstanding. Why? Because I remain calm and collected. I didn't, blow up the spot. I'm gonna let a fool be a fool. Simple as that. Because when I walked into the bank, I let them know I had an account. I wasn't there trying to cash some check, right, or trying to do something. I was an actual member of the bank. Right, and I was there to handle business, but they still treated me as if I was new, and they wanted to know why I was there, and this, that, and the third. And I was clear, I'm a member of the bank. I just had to handle some business, and they still persisted, but I just remained cool. Didn't really do anything much because I knew what it was. And if I was gonna prove them and make them feel stupid, I was gonna do it quietly and silently. Okay, so when I walked up, slid my card, she pulled up the account, and she knew everything was all good. No problems. And ever since then, I'll walk in that bank, and they remember, right? And they give me the treatment that I should have got when I first walked in. Okay, because there's plenty of guys that walk in there wearing the same type of basketball gear because we're right next to a gym. Right next to a gym. There's guys with tattoos and all this other stuff, but because I was black, right, dressed in normal basketball gym attire, it wasn't, the red flags went up. So anyways, I know I went too far on this one, but just understand your style of dress, it will increase or decrease your chances, don't get me wrong, but at the end of the day, there is no I've risen above, right, any sort of black oppression or, the black experience based off of my dress. It will never go away. Right? Will it happen? Well, let's pray that it doesn't. But when it does, you need to be ready. Because if you get mad and upset, that shows what? That you let your guard down. And you weren't on your game. Take it easy. God bless.